All right, Randy Walker here, WorldTennisMagazine.com, and I'm here with famed tennis historian, author, and writer Joel Drucker, and we're here at the Court of Champions Monument here at the 2025 U.S. Open, and this was a project that was instituted, might have 2003, so a long time ago. And Joel and I had the pleasure of working on this when it was first imagined, and we've been doing quick little vignettes here about each player here on each slab of the monument here. So behind us we have Ivan Lendl. So Joel, tell us about Ivan Lendl.
Ivan Lendl, the data itself is compelling. 8 straight finals at the U.S. Open, including a three-peat from 1985 to 87. In a lot of ways, for all the fact that Lendl won his first major at the 84 Roland Garros, this one here in 85, when he beat Jimmy Connors in the semis and John Rucker in the finals, was really kind of the coming of age, the real credibility, the beginning of the Lendl era of dominance. That's the quantitative aspect. The qualitative aspect is this revolutionizing of tennis, along with Martinez down above, about fitness, training, cross-training, and then Lendl brought the whole equipment management to a new level. When we see players changing their rackets on ball changes and fastidious about their grips and all this, Lendl really pioneered and really took that to a whole new level.
That's right. He lived in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is just over the bridge, the Whitestone Bridge. So he was a commuter to the U.S. Open. So behind us also is Don Budge, the first player to ever win the Grand Slam in 1938. And Joel and Don played at the same tennis club.
We both played at the Berkeley Tennis Club in Northern California, in the Bay Area. And I used to play with a guy who used to practice with Budge in 1937 with the long white flannel pants. And the Budge backhand is the beginning of the modern backhand. You could do a whole teaching conference about how that backhand starts to, you could draw the path from that backhand to the great backhands of Rod Laver and Jimmy Connors, and onto the two-handers. Connors, of course, Andre Agassi, Novak Djokovic, a real innovator. Hit the ball early, hit the ball hard, dominate people. In those days, though, when men were men, no leather grip on the racket, just holding a bat of wood. Probably weighed about 14, maybe 15 ounces, Randy. What do our rackets weigh now? About 11 ounces? 10? That Budge, and look at the long white plants, just a great, great player.
And the other interesting fact about Don Budge is when he won his Grand Slam, he had to wait a week to play the final because there was a hurricane that hit New York City and soaked the courts at Forest Hills, and they weren't able to play. So that's a kind of an interesting little side story with Don Budge. So we did a video about Pete Sampras that you can check on the channel, but why don't you talk a little bit more about Pete?
Sampras, incredible player, won this in his teens, 20s, and 30s, one of only 3 men to have won majors in teens, 20s, and 30s. A real clutch performer. This is the guy you want pitching the 7th game of the World Series, playing for your life, not just because he had a great serve, but he knew what it took for him to win when it mattered most.
So you can check out, we did a separate video just on Pete. And then finally, last but absolutely not least, is the great Arthur Ashe behind us.
Well, how fitting, Randy, that we conclude with Arthur Ashe. The first U.S. Open was 1968. Prior it was called the U.S. Nationals. 1968, a year Arthur Ashe had a year so hectic in the world, you barely had 5 minutes to breathe. And in the middle of all that, Lieutenant Arthur Ashe, in the Army then, ends up going to the final, seated 5th here, but still an amateur. And he ends up playing a 5-set match on a Monday versus the Flying Dutchman, Tom Ocker. And a great display, and just a fitting start. You know, one of my fondest memories of that, there's a wonderful picture that you can find of Arthur Ashe and his father at the awards ceremony. And they're holding each other. Arthur Ashe wasn't expressive that much, but you could see in his father's a very tender, classy moment. Just a great moment. And of course, the man for whom the stadium is named.
And how much prize money did he win in that 1968?
Zero, because he was an amateur. And so the first prize money of about $13,800 was given to Tom Ocker.
Yeah, that's an interesting little side note there. So check out all these series of videos on our YouTube channel, World Tennis Magazine, and certainly Google Joel Drucker and check out all of his great articles. I have a Google News alert on Joel Drucker, so anytime he writes an article, I can read it. So
what about if I get a traffic ticket? Do you get that?
I will get that too, so stay out of trouble. So anyway, when you're at the U.S. Open, come check out the Court of Champions. You know, it's really great. When we've been filming these videos, we've been trying to stay out of the way of all the fans that are here. They're checking out and getting their pictures taken in front of them and reading the bio. So it really is a treasure here at the U.S. Open, and preserving and promoting the past and it's the past which makes the present day US Open so great. So thank you for watching these World Tennis Magazine YouTube channels. Joel Drucker, Randy Walker, over and out.